All right, Dr. Alaji, that was quite that. When you were really at the very meat of the matter, which is how it affects Nigerians and all of us. You can talk about this numbers as much as you want. One Nigeria, one Nigerians want how they can afford just basic life. But that's so much we can take from your first will allow us to hear you clearly. We must thank you so much. It's an ongoing conversation. We hope that maybe by a miracle and have some to swing the head into the experience. Maybe that will take things in the right. I think the chief economist and SPM professionals joining us in the department. They just sit back. We'll take a break. When we come back, January 1st is the year all Nigerians are looking at. Why? Because of those four laws that have been passed as far as our tax regime is concerned. Well, there's a book saying, wouldn't they there's a lot that has to be done for that. In fact, there's an argument in the House of Reps that what they passed is different from what was advocated. All of that conversation will bring into our guest just a moment to stay with us. Welcome back. The federal government is not going back on the decision to, start implementing the tax laws that have been passed by the National Assembly. And that is the decision of the federal government, and that's the government. But some groups are saying no. They consider it ill time. They said a lot has to be done to be able to accept some of the provisions of the tax law. But let me bring in my guest who will be able to explain to us what the opposition really all about. Chile, I remember the APC and also the spokesman of the national opposition. He joins us from Abuja. Mr. Brown, thank you so much for coming on the program. I'm a copy of the document by Taiwo, who is the chairman of the committee that put this together. And it is titled 50 tax exemptions and needs that will benefit the masses under the new tax reform. It's very plus minor statement on that from the new tax law will provide many reliefs and exemptions for low-income earners, average taxpayers, and small businesses, including payee and PIT allowable deductions, and go on and on, pensions, capital gains, and all of that. So the question will be, what is the national opposition movement seeking against? What also read the document, which is what we law, the $2 agrees. Because for the personal income tax, the exemption threshold is 800,000. Now, the proposal is why the basic minimum wage is not including that allowance. The basic minimum wage of 30,000. multiply it by 12. It will give you 840,000. Actually, means the lowest earner in the country is still the tax. So when you say that there are exemptions for low income, we don't have a better tax. That's something that. Now again, for tax returns, for those who want to employ, when you look tax returns, you have to employees that favor the same tax. And some of the earnings, the person in another tax, and that makes even the returns important for the employer. But it all shows that in the lowest end is legal to be taxed. So we don't know what is exemptions about. Now, the extent of the part you are seeing from the law is that those who are not taking out the legal exemptions of the taxes. Yes, the explanation is actually something is pretty that level of law don't face it. And we see that in the spirit and level of law, which are extra legal, that we can't enforce the document of general. So we believe that it is poverty that is being taxed, it is hunger that is being taxed, and it is just pushing people on their knees when they are really taxed. Everything is down. So, the power, the system economy is broken. My political economy. So, I remember it looks like that all the time feels like the more you speak, the more it looks like people are counting or disagreeing. Now, we are holding this for any all the time. So they are saying that if you look at the components of any salary, anything that you work anywhere with this salary, they are components. They are deductible, they are taxable, they are not taxable. So that is more important. I say the minimum wage. People are earning minimum wage depending on which state. Something, and all of that. So what may be taxed may not exactly be the entire age. So if you look at the deductions and costs, it may not be up to the every time. That's something you investigated before you're pushing against it to conclude that minimum wage earners are put together by him, saying ultimately they are not paying tax. You see, the 7,000 the 20 salary, everything is allowed. So we are taking it on the basis, the threshold not even want something that when you want to allow, you don't want to allow, you are saying not want to pay allow to the basic salary of 7,000, which comes up to 800 higher than the 800,000 ratio, which is the limit of tax. See the analysis. If we could have a figure that I show that at least excessive, that we say that what we said that no income at 20,000. If we multiply by 2, this is 840,000 per annum. And then the non-taxable minimum is 800,000. So you can have 40,000 over 800,000. So it means that it doesn't pay taxes. Perhaps we need maybe more establishment. There's also the other part of small businesses because the actually has provided some responsible. I don't need to bring that anything, but we're due for a break in just a moment. Before we go for that break, company income tax at the CIT. For the small businesses, the argument is before now, I think it's about 25 million. If your turnover 5 million to collect CIT, collect part, but now that threshold has increased to about 100 million. Is that not something to commend government for? Yeah, we will not say the entire much. That's all the objective of the task law because it makes all the possibility of tax laws into one document, which is good for legal party, which is good for researchers, value in it. And then we see that the people that ought to be outside will be captured in the Padam Wonderland. So except there are public conditions, maybe better people so far from the one we can accept, we will Wonderland, we don't think that we can accept. Secondly, first of all, the trust that the what was predefined in the end, comparing what the enemy is at this time. For companies for you see that in real terms, there's so much difference between what was 2 million or 100 million in the past and then what it is today. So those are the considerations. All right, we'll take a break, and there's a number of issues I want to ask you. I mean, on what the $40 billion finance what they presented to the president, and also what the opposition will do if they go on with this stuff. But more importantly, there's a question I would like to answer when we talk politics for the program. The APC is holding its next meeting as we speak, and from our correspondent, let me quote what he wrote that the vice president has said. He said only a fool hell bent on suicidal path or an outright imposter and dare to challenge the 2027 election. But we're in a democracy and people are free to contest the election. So I'm going to ask the Bebawa that they're saying, forget about 2027, maybe the opportunity that they want to say, well, I'm sure you'll have that back when the moment says. So I love it. It's so long. In fact, my friends want to kill me. Told me about that. Solar cell. They are not something solar product. They are the it's what you do with shoes. Inside market, My name is Austin. Okay, I'm from KG. That's because I'm so something choice during my days as a professional. That's something this today on the national position movement together. We have operating time is 22.71 for that. First, what happens next is the government and see will go on to this transition from January 2026. And then the statement by the Vice President Clinical they have to be reported here to try to transfer the and our position. How do you respond to that? First of all, the position of that's how we said that if the government refuses to listen to the voice of the and goes on to the work with it, especially when you are aware that and the entire government is abroad. You know, the government will be responsible for whatever you know responsible. But the opposition will work all legal, avenues available to ensure that the right people are done. So we will always allow that to ensure that the government is done. Now regarding the due respect for the government, I would say that we are here to be coming through because census. We are talking to the local investors, and we know what we know how sufficiently under, how sufficiently on, and how sufficiently desperate they are to remove this from that is only whatever we can. But they are talking in government when you see Washington know how you can feel going out to like people, from fathers, you don't know that that will make sure of the teaching itself. I think that's the environment of the people. And the majority of it are the people. And about that 2026 is going to be and a lot of political weight to be tested from the upcycle down to the main election in 2027. So Nigeria not to speak. The season of Nigerians to decide who needs them. And we'll make that decision when the time comes. I want to thank you, Chile, for our national opposition. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Joe. That's it on the program. Thank you so much for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey. So much.
Support the special still from this. That's the one. Yes.
I am in agreement and I support the idea of special seats. Historically, women have been disadvantaged in our society for cultural reasons. Sometimes also as a result of that, it was good women, it was good 50% of our population. That's the huge capacity. The nation moves faster when you have development and the corridor of city women. I believe that every one of us who have respect for his mother, who have respect for your daughter, because this is very easy to achieve all inclusive development and to have laws that reflect the core values of our society and the challenges that some segments of society faces. For women, participation, especially for women, but it should be targeted. And this, in my opinion, should be one state, not two.
Distinguished lawmakers, justice. That has been passed today because of contribute this global finance. This shape the world's future and the United Nations across our communities, in courtrooms, classrooms, and boardrooms, progress. People who seat in strength. Distinguished lawyers, is progress and the future of democracy. This message is brought to you by Voice Focus.
and welcome to Newsflash and Channel Television. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Our top story this hour. The following the resolution of the dispute between Nigeria and Burkina Faso over the entry of the Nigerian military jets into Burkina Faso airspace. The Nigerian Air Force has confirmed that the C-130 aircraft, which made that precautionary landing in Bobo-Dioulasso in Burkina Faso, has departed the country and arrived safely in Accra, Ghana. According to a statement by the Director, Public Relations and Information of the Nigeria Air Force, Commodore Ehime Ejodame, the stopover in Ghana is in line with updated flight plan, preparing for onward movement to Portugal via Banjul and Casablanca for its scheduled depot maintenance. The statement also indicates that all personnel involved remain safe and aircraft serviceable. The service counts the promises to continue to operate the highest standards of safety and professionalism. President Bola Tinubu has presented a 2026 budget to the joint session of the National Assembly in Abuja. The budget outlines the administration's fiscal priorities with emphasis on defense and security infrastructure, development, and education, among others. He also adds that there will be stricter discipline in budget execution and implementation with time.
2026 federal budget is an accord oriented prudence and growth. The key attributes are as follows. Expected total revenue is 4.33 trillion naira. Projected total expenditure is 58.18 trillion naira. Including 15.52 trillion naira for debt services. The current non-debt expenditure is 15.2 trillion naira. Capital expenditure will be 26.08 million. Budget deficit is expected to 23.85 million, representing just 4.28% of our GDP. These numbers are not there at land. They are statements of national priorities. We remain firmly committed to fiscal sustainability, debt transparency, and value for money spending. The year 2026 to 2018 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper set the parameters for this project. Our projections are based on 1. The conservative crude oil benchmark of US $64.85 per barrel. 2. Crude oil production of 1.8 million barrels per day. And 3. An average of 1.49 US dollar for the 2026 fiscal year. The sector and provision sector, defense, security. Defense and security within 5.41 trillion. Infrastructure will follow with 3.56 trillion. Education will follow with 3.52 trillion. And social services will be 2.48 trillion.
The Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Speaker of the House of Representatives Abbas Tajudeen have commended President Bola Tinubu's final direction and fiscal direction and the presentation of the 58.18 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill. Speaking during the joint session of the National Assembly, the Senate President stated that the 2026 budget is not just a list of numbers, but a roadmap for renewal that prioritizes security as the bedrock of development. He also made some reflections on the challenges and lessons of the 2025 budget cycle. On his part, the Speaker, Abbas Tajudeen, commended the President's courage in sticking to difficult reforms, but also challenged the executive to reflect on Nigeria's budget to population ratio.
We are now witnessing under the administration side having achieved different persistent skepticisms, relentless criticisms, and the loud objections of leaders, naysayers, and translators who doubted on density and the result of these reforms. These were difficult decisions, yet there are two ones. Show me a national budget and I'll tell you its priorities, its future, and its hopes. It is being what the nation truly values. It is both what it is prepared to confront and chart the future it seeks to build. The 2026 appropriation bill is therefore far more than a compilation of figures. It is a statement of intent, a reflection of priorities, a record of political choices, and a roadmap for the next phase of Nigeria's renewal. In 2025 was the year of adjustment. 2026 must be a year of improvement. Growth must increasingly translate into jobs, higher incomes, and expanded opportunities. Fiscal discipline must continue to deliver fairness, efficiency, and peaceful impact. Above all, the 2026 budget must be grounded in credible targets, realistic assumptions, and disciplined implementation. This is where there is strong optimism across this chamber that 2026 will be different, not only in intent, but in outcomes. The National Assembly received the 2026 appropriation bill with confidence that the lessons of 2025 have been fully internalized, and that this budget is designed to translate reform into tangible progress and achievements.
In the meantime, the Senate has confirmed Marisha Meiwa, STSO, and Saidu Mohammed as chief executives of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NMDPRA. Their appointments were approved at plenary today after lawmakers adopted the report of the Joint Petroleum Committee, which screened both nominees. President Bola Tinubu submitted the names on December 17th to fill vacancies created by the resignations of former CEOs Farouk Ahmed and Bilda Kopolape. Mr. Ahmed's exit followed corruption allegations by businessman Aliko Dangote, now under ICPC investigation. The NUPRC and NMDPRA were created under the Petroleum Industry Act to regulate Nigeria's upstream, midstream, and downstream oil and gas sectors. We'll head to the courts now. The Supreme Court has affirmed that the acting national chairman of the Social Democratic Party, Sadiq Abubakar, and National Secretary Olu Akunloye hold constitutional authority to make binding decisions on behalf of the party. In a unanimous decision on Friday, the five-member panel of the Apex Court struck out INEC's appeal, lacking further awarded 2 million, for lacking merit and further awarded a 2 million naira cost against the council to INEC in the matter. In the judgment read by Justice Jamilu Tukur, the Apex Court stated that it does not resolve controversies that affect the rights and obligations of political parties, adding that with elections having held, what is left is merely academic. The Apex Court therefore deems INEC's case incompetent. We turn our attention to security matters in just a moment. Please return. Please join us.
Now we do new since when you take us in this, it just gets safe. Then do you know it's not us job that it goes to the market. Even vaccines, we see that. What do we call vaccines? We see them. I wanted to thank you for the solar impact. In fact, my friends want to say thank you. So solar sector. They all want to buy their own Sunking solar product. Yes, yes. Surprise! So, this is what you've become. Jesus, I'm going to respect you. How am I talking to you? What you talk to me? Peace. Yes. Take the test. Stop the violence. How? As it sits there.
Welcome back. In line with its commitment to sustainable development and responsible energy operations, Platform Petroleum Limited is now making a tangible impact in its host communities in Delta State through strategic investments guided by the Petroleum Industry Act. The company is transforming lives and strengthening community relations across the one local government areas.
Residents of communities in Bukwani local government area of Delta State can gather to witness the formal migration projects championed by Platform Petroleum Limited. Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Platform Petroleum Limited believes in giving back to those communities, which have led to the massive harvesting projects. Secondly, there are also commercialized leaders that are produced from this field. because when from awarded, it was considered an oil field, but when we have other developments, we realize that there are other sources than oil. I'm glad enough to read that if you're here 5 years ago, the volume of oil was quite much more than what we are seeing today. This is what is called annual flare in the trade operational 6.
He is the representative of the Delta State government to officially inaugurate projects, which includes road construction, power supply, drainage infrastructure, and housing projects.
They have actually impressed me. I want other oil companies to emulate them. So far, so good. We have commissioned about 6 projects today alone. I was looking further to commission.
As the locals welcome to development, the company management is thankful to the host community for its cooperation. Pledge that more developmental projects will spring up if the peace is sustained.
Yeah, well done, roots, well done projects. It's because of the cooperation and understanding that existed that made this result to manifest today. So they are very peaceful. All I'm saying is that they should continue to support these development projects. But I call this success story because of the collaborative effort of the government and as well as the cooperation of the host communities. But one thing is you have the need to monitor without construction on project. But if the people are resting, if people are not cooperating, even if the government and the sellers not cooperating, will not have to achieve this.
With the successful delivery of 33 development projects, Platform reaffirms its dedication to meaningful engagement, sustainable growth, and lasting partnerships with its host communities.
The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has announced the arrest of 160 suspects between November, October, and December 2025, with 60 convictions secured within the same period under review. Speaking in Abuja while presenting the command security scorecard since assuming office in October 2025, the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Mela Letawaye, says the FCT's strategic position as Nigeria's political and diplomatic power presents unique security challenges attracting both law-abiding citizens and criminal elements. Also speaking in Abuja, the National Coordinator of Police Campaign Against Cultism and Other Vices, Mr. Oberge Ikwem, is advocating the need for FCT residents to stay away from crime during the Yuletide.
It's an early morning roadshow as the police campaign against cultism and other vices, led by its national coordinator, take to the streets of Abuja on an awareness campaign against crime. With music and dance, the team moved from the force headquarters to the popular AYA roundabout with the message of a crime-free Christmas. They also have gifts for some lucky residents.
We are here because of the vision statement of the Secretary of Police, which is community-oriented, people-friendly. So the IGP of the Federal PHTM has for us to come and talk to Nigerians and tell them to stay away from crime, to stay away from cultism, to stay away from other vices like cybercrime, prostitution, drug abuse, substance abuse.
Away from the roadshow, the Commissioner of Police in charge of the Federal Capital Territory briefs the press as he reels out statistics of the arrests made in the nation's capital.
Incidents of arrest 2 hours, 7 cases, 41 suspects, several kidnapping gangs operating within and around FCT, disrupted through intelligence-led operations, forest-only exercises, and joint operations with sister security agencies.
According to the Commission, cases of class snatching and abduction using commercial vehicles are on the decline as the police continues to review its security strategies.
Thefts and vehicle snatching cases recorded in the number 35. 11 suspects arrested and 20 stolen vehicles comprising those getting 200 robberies and removed from whereabouts recovered within
Federal Capital Authority and outside Federal Capital Authority. Looking ahead, Mr. Dantawa assures residents that the command will continue to strengthen community policing, intensify intelligence-led operations, sustain targeted raids, deepen interagency collaboration, and expand public enlightenment initiatives to address emerging security threats in the FCT.
The Student Academy tracker took a look at business that will find out the latest inflation figures for the country.
Our engineer sales is on. Doors are more than entryways, they're guardians. At Switchway Doors, we don't just build doors, we make grand entrances. From the time to be unmatched by our historical doors, our pivot security doors, our exclusive doors, and our Irish galvanized steel doors, to the water resistant our internal doors, they all miss your chance to say, hey, come and enjoy our 50% promo discount. Offers now. Switchway Doors, your door, your door.
You, the moment we have again like this, and you can this faster, especially if not detected. This is by checking pressure using a clinically validated blood pressure monitor. Overall blood pressure monitors are clinically validated devices that give the same consistent accuracy as the doctor's office. Check your overall blood pressure monitors. Use to check your blood pressure monitors. Remember, your health is your responsibility. Please keep it season. Just an overall blood pressure monitor. The NHP hologram seal. You want to show that stuff for 36 and so far. 5 years warranty. Remember that the world, the memories made. Now, imagine experience all of that in a home that is truly yours. Your first Christmas tree, your first family dinner, your own space, filled with love and light. Write your own story this season. Agreements 11 Friday plus Pro. Enjoy up to 30% discount off your sales. Enjoy easy payment plans and wrap beautiful Christmas gifts because it's Christmas. This story is ours. It's yours. And some gifts never grow old, just like the joy of a home. Now do you know?
Welcome back. In the world of business, businesses and households in Nigeria expect inflation to remain largely stable in the coming months. And that's according to the Central Bank of Nigeria's Inflation Expectation Survey report for December 2025. The survey shows that inflation perception index at 43.5 points, with high inflation perceptions falling to 52.3% in November, coming from 56.5% in October. According to the report, respondents cited energy, transportation, and exchange rate as key inflation drivers, with other factors being less significant. The most recent inflation report from the National Bureau of Statistics shows that Nigeria's headline inflation moderated to 14.45% in November 2025, down from 16.05% in October this year. The Central Securities Clearing System PLC has announced the appointment of Mr. Shehu Shantali as its new Chief Executive Officer with effect from January the 1st next year. Mr. Shantali succeeds Mr. Hassan Jalal Waziri, who will be stepping down after a successful 8-year tenure marked by strong leadership, strategic growth, and significant contributions to the development of Nigeria's capital market infrastructure. During his tenure, Mr. Jalal Waziri provided visionary and results-driven leadership that delivered sustainable growth and far-reaching transformation across the organization. He also led the successful execution of critical strategic initiatives, strengthened governance and operational effectiveness, and modernized the company's systems and processes, positioning the organization for long-term resilience and competitiveness. And outside our shores in business, TikTok's Chinese owner says that it has designed and signed binding agreements with American and global investors to operate its business in the United States. According to a memo sent by the chief executive, Chu Zichu, on behalf of the joint venture, half of it will be owned by a group of investors, including Oracle, Silver Lake, and the Emirati investment firm MGX. Under this agreement, buy attendants will retain 19.9% of the business, while Oracle, Silver Lake, and Abu Dhabi-based MGX will hold 15% each, while another 13.1% will be held by affiliates of existing buy attendants investors, and that's according to the memo. The deal, which comes after a series of delays, is set to close on January 22nd next year. It will end years of efforts by Washington to force buy attendants to sell its U.S. operations for the national security concerns. TikTok says this deal will enable over 170 million Americans to continue discovering a world of endless possibilities as part of a vital global community. Away from business but outside our shores, Russian President Vladimir Putin says that there will be no more wars with Ukraine, or the East countries treated with respect. In a marathon televised event lasting almost 4.5 hours, the Russian president described claims that Moscow is planning to attack European countries as nonsense. Meanwhile, after 17 hours of heated debate, the European Union leaders have agreed to provide Ukraine with a €90 billion loan in zero interest to keep Ukraine financially afloat for the next 2 years after failing to reach consensus on using frozen Russia. Well, that's news trackers out. I am Ronaldo. Please join us later at 10 p.m. for our flagship, The News at 10.
To the 11th of January 2026, with the last telecast that over 84 countries, all African music awards. Be unstoppable. Join us live at the April Convention Center of April Suites, Ladies Nigeria. All African music awards happening in partnership with the African Media Station.
Wake up, feel strong, feel free with Ferrobene. I for you and me. Ferrobene is a product of Basic of Free available in pharmacies nationwide. Ferrobene, the ideal for filter. Hello and welcome to Hard Copy from our channels and Visual Studios in Abuja and Kenya. These are the only two things that are certain in life: death and taxes. And tonight, we are talking taxes. As just to explain why, so we're very aware of the new tax administration taking effect on the 1st of January 2026. The new tax reform act was signed into law by President Bola Tinubu in June of 2025. And for those who forgot, it has 4 major legislations: the Nigerian Tax Act, the Nigerian Tax Administration Act, the Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Act, and the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Act. Now, the Nigerian Tax Act and the Nigerian Tax Administration Act take effect on the 1st of January next year. Just for you to know. And everyone has been asking questions about what this means for our income as Nigerians. This is being said, we can admit that the chairman of the Presidential Committee of Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform has been doing its absolute best to explain the new tax era. Even again, most recently at the National Stakeholders Discourse on enhancing fiscal efficiency and the Nigeria Tax Act 2025. He has been breaking down complex aspects like the derivation provision, the exempt population. And then recently, he explained how religious organizations will not be taxed, but the individuals who run them must be taxed. We'll get to that shortly. But one aspect we haven't been able to get clarity on is the over 80% of Nigerians who do not believe they should pay taxes. Why? Well, because you don't see why. Poor infrastructure, for power supply, and even poor economy is the bane of their existence. How can this committee get Nigerians to trust that taxation is for their benefit? That anyhowness of our income is a real problem for us as a people. Who is paying what? Might be taxed on cash gifts. What? If it into my life, do I get taxed on that? How does this new tax law affect those who earn $1 million a month, for instance? What of my influencers who earn in dollars? How about the crypto economy? Can we get an explanation on taxes, levies, and service charges for small businesses? The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is yes, we can. And Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, Chairman, Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, joins us tonight. Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, welcome to our company.
Yeah.
Let's start with the big one. What's going to happen on the 1st of January? Just so we can understand what's happening with our taxes and our income.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me. Currently, that's up until 31st December 2025. Far too many Nigerians, particularly low-income earners, middle class, small business owners, pay too many taxes, and the burden of tax on them is unbearable. And so the whole essence of the reform is so that they can take away that burden and bring some sanity and harmony into how we administer taxes. So from 1st of January 2026, the vast majority of Nigerians will see a drop in the taxes that they pay. If they are workers working as employees, they will see either zero tax because they are completely exempted. That's for 1/3 of all workers, private and public sector combined. Or they will see a drop in the taxes they were paying previously. And that's for almost the remaining 2/3, except for the top 2%. In addition to that, the things they buy, particularly basic things like food, shelter, transportation, education, and healthcare, they would also see a drop. The idea is that we want to enhance and increase the disposable income of the average Nigerian on one hand, and make things they buy to be more affordable so their life can be more meaningful. In a way, also that helps businesses to grow because if they all have a little bit more to spend, then businesses have a little bit more to sell.
Let's start with income.
Yes.
For salary earners, let's take that category. If I earned $1 million a month,
Good news for you. From next year, January, your PA as you earn tax. They deduct this on a monthly basis from your salary and pay you the next. So your net, if you earn $1 million, your next pay at the end of January will increase, even without any increase in your gross salary from your employer. You see good news like that?
you know what is interesting?
Yeah.
That's not the narrative.
Yeah.
Everyone with the ring lights and the microphone has been saying one thing or the other.
Yeah.
So fact is, KYE, I'm going to get more, I'm going to see more.
Let less pay,
Yes,
and then you have more money in your account.
500,000.
You also pay less PAYE, more money in your bank account.
Okay.
You pay less tax, more money in your bank account.
2 million.
2 million, you pay less tax, more money in your account. It's from 2 million that you start to see marginal increases. If you earn 3 million naira a month, you see an increase in your tax, maybe 10,000 or 20,000, small amount. Because the rate target is one, exempt low income earners, reduce the tax for middle class, and then the high net worth individual. So if you earn 120 million naira a year, or you earn 1 billion naira a year, you see your tax will get up to 25%. But that's, in fact, that's the way it is everywhere.
What's the 25% start from? Because that's what based on what you're saying right now, that's misinformation.
Yes.
They keep saying, oh, you're going to get paid 25% tax from next year. That is wrong.
That is wrong.
It depends on the category. That's what you're saying. At what point do you start paying? How much do you have to earn to be paying that 25%?
You have to earn about 240 million a year. That's like 20 million a month to pay 25%. Means, I think you said it, everyone with a ring light and a microphone is recording stuff about taxes. Taxes are not common knowledge, it's technical area. So they go to the tax table, there's a tax table that says this is the income band and this is the tax we pay. And just take that table literally as it is. Say that is the amount of tax everyone will pay, but that's not how it works out.
So for me to be paying 25% tax, and that 25% is it's
Look at it effective.
is it at the end of the year? Is it every month?
It's every month. It's the same thing.
So 25% flat.
When you get to 25%, we call it effective tax rate.
Okay.
Before you get to 25, that feels like 25 flats, you have to earn about 240 million a year. That's about 20 million a month. If you earn anything less than that, if you earn 120 million a year, that's 10 million a month, you don't even get to 25%. Because part of your salary is taxed at 0%. Even at your 120 million, part of it is taxed at 15%. Part of it is taxed at 21%. And you get a lot of deductions as well. Pension contribution, national housing fund, mortgage interest, NHIS, all these deductions are released and granted. So when you earn 120 million a year, your effective tax rate is less than 25%. So you see the reason why the majority of Nigerians don't earn 1 million a month. So these are the majority of the Nigerian people who see a drop in their PAYE and their take-home pay will increase.
Okay, so that's good for them. We're very happy.
So it's good for us.
And the people who have been complaining are people who allegedly earn up to 200 and something million naira a year. And we have a lot of them online. Many of them are influencers.
Yeah.
And then it was also brought the question for regularization of our income. For many people, income is just the salary is there, but then you receive a lot of money. So that number out there, let's clear that up. The one where they say every money that passes through my account will be taxed.
Yeah. Okay, so I think you raised two issues. We are an influencer or we are an export individual and 20 million naira a month.
Yeah.
If you don't pay tax, we're supposed to pay it. We won't have a country, right? That 25% you pay at that level of 20 million naira a month, if you were in Ghana, that would be 35%. If you were in South Africa, it would be 45%. If you were in Kenya, it would be 35%. So Nigeria's tax rate is not the highest. I'm not saying it should be.
But for everyone who earns at least 20 million naira a month,
yes,
they should know.
They should know.
That is 25% to affect them.
The high net worth individuals in our country, but they have good news for them because overall, even these high net worth individuals will be better off under the new tax law for next year. You know how? People who earn 20 million a month are usually either they own businesses or they are top executives. So what's going to happen if you're an influencer, which means you own your business? So you run your own business yourself. From next year, your businesses will get more reliefs, allowances, and credit, including lower tax rates. So what will happen? is that your business will easily make 10 million naira more, and your tax will be 2 million naira more. So overall, you should even be very excited with the reform. So there's no category of Nigerian people who will be worse off under the new tax law, except of course tax evaders. They get to pay 1% and never paid before. If they make you pay 1%, it feels like a new tax, right? Right. So the other thing is, people say any money that comes into the account, they will tax it. I don't know how the magnitude to come up with that level of misinformation. So just to be clear, there's nothing in the new tax law that says anything that goes to your bank account will be taxed. That would be against even the Constitution. Based on the Constitution and the new tax law, you tax income. So if you send money to me because it's a gift, or I have somebody abroad and they send me money to build a house for them, or just take care of everybody, those ones are not taxable.
So what is taxable?
What is taxable is your income. You have a salary, and you have above the exemption threshold because there's an exemption where you don't pay at all. So if your salary is more than the exemption threshold, you pay tax based on
The enter my account is salary, and this one is
fantastic. So the law says you do self-assessment, which means you're supposed to tell the government yourself that I have these 10 million in my bank account, but 9 million is a gift or is money for some other people, and 1 million is only my own portion of the income, and then you pay tax on the 1 million. That's what is in the law.
You don't have to do this. How are we going to tell the government this?
Yeah, so if you work as an employee, your employer has a way of collecting that information and giving it to the government. So at the end of the year, they can just give you a link to the website where you fill in some of that information, your address, where you live, or if you have any other income, and you're done. Something very simple like trying to buy airtime. If you're a bigger person,
We have to fill this form every month.
no, once a year.
Once a year.
Yes, there's a new tax system also collects reliable information about your citizens that you can use for social intervention.
Well, that's another criticism that
Yes.
this new tax era is facing right now, which is, listen, we are trying to make it look like we are an advanced country. We are not. Don't be taxing me like I'm abroad. I'm not living like I'm abroad. I don't have these amenities. I'm not living a very good life. The people abroad that you're taxing. It's those people when you collect the tax, you can see the tax working for you. But the existence of the Nigerians and the tax, I'm paying taxes that still working. I'm wondering, okay, what do my taxes do if I'm still dealing with not having basic amenities?
Yeah. So I
have a situation where people are on band A in this country, paying band A for that's 4 units per 1,000. And still, you don't have electricity 4 to 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
So how do I trust you?
Good point. Yes, I was concerned about these as well. And there's everybody Nigerian out there. So 2 things. 1, they say don't copy the system in the abroad because we are taxing us. The place to even start that conversation is that in this the abroad, they don't tax poverty. We have been taxing poverty. People are earning 50K and are collecting salary from them. If you're in the UK, £13,000 a year, that's like almost how much is that? 2 million naira a month. You don't pay tax. So at least if you don't agree with taxing anybody at all, you should at least agree that you exempt low income earners and reduce the tax on middle class. So we've copied that. Nobody has complained about it. The other bit about I finish paying my taxes and to do everything government should be doing for me is a concern for all of us, including myself. These was a priority objective for the committee. People know us as a tax committee, actually a fiscal tax, because there's the bit about government spending, transparency, and government borrowing, in addition to revenue. And we've done a lot of work, including sending proposals to the National Assembly to amend the Constitution to make transparency and accountability a requirement for so many things. I wouldn't come on TV and call out everything we're trying to do because I need to be clear about do I want the applause of the people or do I want the results. So the policymakers and the political leaders need to own that process. Once the legal framework has been provided, we can then collectively hold our politicians and leaders to account. If that's your side also, is giving you less than 100 million naira a year. When the company that's hired you to do the work is paying you, they will no longer deduct money from it.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? They were deducting now.
Yeah.
They will
That's what happens now. They deduct
what happens now. So from January next year, if your income does not exceed 100 million, that's a small business they will not deduct from you. Right? But of course, they agree with me, which is why I keep going back. So if they more than 100 million naira, why should they not be taxed? The majority of people who are against reform don't know anything close to that amount. That's number one. Number two is there's when they pay you that amount, let's say it's half a million naira, there's nobody that will just go and take it from your bank account. What the law says is at the end of the year, your salary at channels, you already pay PAY on a monthly basis. At the end of the year, the law will now say you have any other income other than your salary. You say, yeah, I do side hustle, and during the year I made 10 million naira. So that 10 million naira, you disclose it. Did you have to spend anything, transport, you have to look good to be able to do what you do? All of those things you take them out. And then if there's any extra profit that is left, we go to the tax table and say, for which range of income, what tax should I pay? Then you pay it. So we call it self-assessment.
And so what to go to church because you see that conversation around it, and you see it in movies, don't you? Somewhere where they say, well, nothing about taxes. You know, it's not that they were paying on. So that's the lifestyle that we have to incorporate and that's it.
Yes.
So the question is, still doesn't have public record.
Our website, channelstv.com, has more information about top stories and others. Subscribe and watch Channels Television, live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms. You can get all the live browser for the download Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices in their respective stores. You can also watch us on iOS TV platform on Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, and Roku. Channels Television.
Welcome back to Hard Copy on Channels Television. If you just joined us, it's Highway. Lady joins us tonight. I'll be here talking taxes as we wrap up 2025. Thanks again for being with us. Okay, so yes, this new style where we have to now make sure that our income is noted. You have to take time to make sure you're not owing this. You have to categorize your income, knowing that you have to fill this form. It says once a year that we have to fill this form to explain to the government what it is that we're doing, how much money we're earning, and how much of it is going out, and how are you going to get Nigerians to do this?
Yeah. so interestingly, this is actually not a new requirement. It has always been that we also were not doing it, right? We're not doing it. But what the new system is asking us to do is actually to our benefits. So, for example, if I'm a landlord and I let out my property and I collect rent, so people don't keep record of maintenance of the house, insurance, how much they pay the agents. So we have to develop that habit of just keeping records. And I'm not saying you buy an accountant. Some of it is just to sell something on your phone and keep it. Those expenses bring down your taxes because they are deductible. We call them deductible.
To be clear, it's not everyone required to fill out this form. It's particular tax bracket.
Yeah, so only if you are someone who earns an income that's liable to fill it.
Okay, so even when
You still have to say you have.
You still have to fill that out.
Yeah, because they won't know.
With what? No income earners. For those who are, to be clear, you said they're going to be taxed.
They are going to be taxed.
So they do have to explain.
For example, you say you earn 80,000 naira a month to be exempted. If you don't do anything, the system will not know that you earn 80,000 naira. You get, and they know you earn a salary. So you still have to say, I earn 80,000 naira per month, and the system will say you have no tax to pay. Sometimes when people relocate abroad. This is one of the areas they struggle with the most. Yeah, because it's not a habit for us. And we know we're not at the same level, but let's do the most basic. And like I said, this will help us. It's not about collecting taxes, it's about making sure society is organized.
So
When we launch
system will not crash.
no,
There will not be network problem. They tell you we cannot do this.
yeah, fantastic systems in Nigeria. There were days we used to go and take money to withdraw money from our bank account. Right? Today, millions and millions of Nigerians have bank accounts. Last time I went to a bank, they don't crash. So we can build systems in Nigeria that don't crash. FRS has implemented SaaS programs for many years. It hasn't crashed. FCTS and many other states as well. So we know that these things can get better. And that's exactly what we're working on to say, let's do things better in Nigeria. The thing is, if you make money from crypto, currently, you pay tax on your gains. Under the new law, you're allowed to deduct your losses. So good news, you for crypto earners, good news on that the whole thing. And if the amount you make from crypto is below the exemption threshold, you don't pay any tax at all.
Or dollar earners.
So if you earn dollars, again, it will depend on how much you earn because in dollar just sounds like a big amount of money, but you can just earn $100. So again, you earn dollars or pound sterling or euro, convert it to naira. Do you have any expenses in trying to earn that amount? Take it out. Whatever is left, go to the tax table. Okay, am I below the exemption threshold? Yes, you don't pay anything. If you are above it, you find the rates. We have a tax calculator because it's not just as simple as going to the table and finding the rate. If you go to fiscal reforms.txt, fiscal is FISCA, fiscal reforms.txt, you find a calculator that put the amount you earn. If you earn dollar, just convert it to dollar, you know the exchange rate, put the amount because it only takes 9. It tells you if you need to pay tax at all, or whether you're exempted. If you need to pay tax, it tells you how much you need to pay. So if I'm a content creator, or I'm a freelancer, or I'm a remote worker for some tech companies and they pay me $10,000 a month, that's full money. Convert it to naira, find the tax you need to pay, and pay your tax. If you convert it and you reach the exemption threshold, you have no taxes to pay. So the reality is that today, these small businesses pay all manner of taxes and levies. From January next year, those number of taxes will come down drastically and will continue to reduce. The Joint Revenue Board, that is the Association of Revenue Authorities across Nigeria, the new name is Joint Revenue Board. They had their meeting a few days ago and released a communique that even at the sub-national and state level, we have tax organization law trying to reduce even the tax at local government and state level because we couldn't enact that at the center to dictate to them it would be unconstitutional. But now they are enacting their own laws so that they can align with this new reform that says no more multiple beneficiaries actually this reform are low-income earners and small businesses.
They have been complaints about companies, not really adhering to what the rules are when it comes to withholding tax.
Yes. So withholding taxes, if you render a service to a company, let's say your service is just do events, organization for them. It could be that you have them manage their social media accounts or anything. So if that company is supposed to pay you 1 million naira, so there's a requirement that says, depending on the type of service you render, they should retain a percentage of your income. Let's say it's 10%. So instead of paying you 1 million naira, they pay you like 100,000 naira. Pay 100,000 naira to the government and give you receipts. Become the advance payment of tax. What this new law has now done is from next year, if that person, any of that income does not earn more than 100 million a year, that company should no longer deduct the withholding tax from them to just pay 1 million. It's right. So we also have made provision for even when you earn more than 100 million, or you're in certain critical sectors like manufacturing and agri, even if the amount is $1 billion, the person paying you should not deduct any withholding tax.
How does he know?
So the person will know sector first. So if you're in agri manufacturing, they won't need to ask you, they know the dots.
Yeah.
But if you're in services, professional services, consulting, for example, they will ask you. So they will ask you, are you a small business? One of the things we're trying to do is to see whether we can have some flat certificates or because some companies are also very reluctant.
I'll throw these things outside. I'll throw these things outside.
You don't say I'm a small
I'll
company.
throw these things outside.
You just have to do that because you can't
You're
explain.
saying that.
So we are mindful of that. So we're currently working on what is it that we can give to that small business person so they can be sent to the person paying them so they won't have to pay with tax.
This is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. That's why we're very busy. Literally like 24 hours a day. It's sad that we have to then dissipate a lot of time in fighting misinformation. We've done more progress by now, including guidelines and regulation. Right now, I'll be honest with you, I spend more than half of my time every day just on this misinformation. And we have a reform that was signed into law in June. We have 6 months to prepare, or we spend more of that 6 months just dealing with the misinformation of the debit account. They will tax that taxes, the grandma that retired will start paying taxes, and then go to accounting, then will debit it. They just made up all of this stuff. You can download a copy of the tax law from the website fiscalreform.ng. Is in searchable PDF, which means you can search anything if they're written there black and white. So I think the more knowledge we have, the more we can take advantage of the law and benefit from it rather than just being afraid and fighting a reform that is designed to help us.
I think one of the biggest issues that you have to deal with is the position of the administration that wants to tax us to death.
Interestingly, we had some training for journalists, and I said to them, if any one of them can tell me just one tax that's imposed on the masses, I was going to give them 100,000 naira. Nobody had any answers. I gave them an email. I said, if you find the answer, just send me an email. The reality is that this is the precedent that has reversed, suspended, or removed the most taxes in Nigeria's history. On the 6th of July 2023, the first set of executive orders this president, 4 of them, if I Google them, were suspending taxes from excise tax on telecommunication and data to cybersecurity levy to import 4% on board that customer wanted to collect. So carbon tax on single-use plastic. So the list goes on and like that. So this government, on day one, people remember subsidy is gone. But that same day one, this president said we have to tackle multiplicity of taxes, and it's been true to it.
Well, there's a lot of work you have ahead of you, and we wanted to see how it's all unfolds. Thank you so much, Mr. Taiwo, for being with us on our topic, and good luck with all the work you have ahead of you.
Thank you for having me.
That's our copy this week. And okay, another today.
What was it chosen? First to start. Over a decade, 1 million has start. That means not just the ultimate matches. Just for the wow, they're not Student, 3, 2, 2.
Hello, I'm Yvonne. We're wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas. Remember, on television.
It's the most wonderful time. Thank you for trusting us to do this. All year long. Every the kids can go down and everyone telling you. This season of all.
When you're behind the camera, but it's the book, shines the spotlight in everything you do.
Scary stories, stories of Christmas long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's so dark, and hearts will be glowing once again. We celebrate Christmas and the family. We let bring you prosperity, good health, endless possibilities. Good evening to you. Thanks for watching of the show. It's the last one for the week. Close to making watch about it. What's like on the show? Well, I call it a joke taking too far. Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul, that fight. We'll talk about it and of course look at how it could swing. And of course, we will also be looking at the fast approaching African Cup of Nations. We'll talk about it. And of course, we'll also be looking at the English Premier League and football on the domestic scene. Give you a slice of grassroots football, maybe showing some exciting in the time for me. So that's the outlook of the show tonight. It's a two-man show. My colleague also put up to get it ready as well on the show. Well, to get started to everyone joining us on the show tonight. Always financial factor of sports, yes. It's not so close. It's the schools that prepare to be the bishop of the African Cup of Nations. They said they want to bring the Red Cross Nigeria and they sing the redemption song and the Super Eagles go out there and say, look, we were this close to giving you guys the AFCON trophy. Yeah, we can do it for the I don't think so. But anyway, we're starting that way on the show. Of course, tonight we'll start a little differently. But first, let's quickly bring in guest in the Lagos studio. Of course, there's no other person that music changes happening. To really you the thanks for finding time to be with us on the show. Well, that's very interesting. I thought it was a joke taking too far. I don't know if you agree. Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, and the point is, a lot of people say it's all about that. There's nothing about boxing in all of us. Let me just proceed. Let's see if we can get to let our viewers see tail of the tape and also a bit of what went down when the fighters. Just go, of course. I think I've been quite James talk about this, which is a fitting way to start off. Let me just go to the screen. A bit of comparison here, and you will understand why I think it's a joke taken too far. And you'll see that there you go. Tail of the tape, Jake Paul up against Anthony Joshua. One is a proper boxer, the other one is a YouTuber. But somehow he's been able to force his way, and credit to him, he's been able to put down
one or two guys who should be knocking him out, but somehow he's able to put them out. And he was also able to stay on his feet in a boxing bout with people like Floyd Mayweather and of course Mike Tyson. That should also count for some, but he's no way a professional boxer. So here we go. Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. Of course, he's nicknamed the problem child. And of course, Anthony Joshua is probably known as AJ. Talk about the age. One is 28, the other is 35. The reach, which is clearly in Anthony Joshua's favor, 82 inches compared to 76 for his opponent. Then you also know that it's not even about the reach. The opportunity you get to throw the punch also matters. Fights. One has 12, the other has 20. Anthony Joshua's actually fights. And of course, fights won. Anthony Joshua's 128 fights. While Jake Paul, like I said, to his credit, is one of the fights. For losses, and of course, he is, shortly boxing career. The Anthony Joshua lost for of his 28 wins, 25 at his cup by knockout. Jake Paul, no titles for Joshua. He has held the IBF and the WBO titles before losing them to Usyk. In comparison, the height, everything just looks to be in favor of Anthony Joshua. Of course, talking about the weight also, Anthony Joshua obviously a lot bigger than Jake Paul in comparison. So that's what it is. So let me talk to you now. Looking at all of this now, is this a mismatch? Well, this should be an exhibition.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think. I think this is all about.
All of this is happening in Austin's backyard, and I was going to, but I was asking this. You're saying is that if it turns out to be a loss for Joshua, it's going to be a loss.
He doesn't. This one does not have how many weeks ago. He don't have what's his name, Mike Tyson. I mean that doesn't have anything on Tyson. See how it's done.
It's fast.
Yeah, I dare say that I don't think Joshua has also scratched what Mike Tyson did in his time. So I mean, this is just
Whatever happens.
it doesn't.
Like another person agrees. A lot of people also say whatever Anthony Joshua does to Jake Paul is not going to salvage his dented image, especially with that loss to Daniel Dubois. But a loss will severely damage what has been dented, don't you think?
It will destroy it, to destroy it. Let Anthony Joshua for the first time. I will 2016 story because he showed the true Niger champion that he is, crossing the road, to look for setbacks, because I had a Nigerian muffler on the neck, I crossed over, he was right there with Tom Cunningham, his PR guy, doing that analysis of the BBC, and we talked, and right then, it's big interest to Anthony Joshua. Right after his professional career, it was Emmanuel Leo in 2013. Remember, he was fresh coming out as an Olympic champion 2012 Olympics, the boxing world welcomes Anthony Joshua so well. We were so excited. It was a breath of fresh air. His comes physicality, his welcoming, the fans, the lights. He did it for the sport. So everyone loved Anthony Joshua. We were rooting for him. We wanted him to be that world champion. He, particularly with the way he took out the Klitschko and went on to become the champion, and then lost that belt waiting to Andy Ruiz, and then came back to become a two-time world champion, and then tried to become a three-time world champion. So I just have to break it down a bit.
not a guy who started off as a boxer and now YouTube and actually sharing it with. And just in case you don't know, it's facing on real. It is unimaginable that these have been done to a professional heavyweight contest here. It has been, I have to just say, I don't care what anyone says, and it's not the fact that it's created a conversation that Jim Paul said is going to shock the world, beat Anthony Joshua and become the king of boxing. So see, when persons hear this thing, that's why they're a big boxing fan. It's something it does to you when you think about that. Even some of the greats like Mike Tyson that we have done in past few days. So my question tonight is what are we trying to do to boxing? Particularly heavyweight boxing. Not disrespect to the guys who want to get on the ring, create some entertainment for the money, but let's think about the love for the sport, the followership, what actually drew people to it, the passion. So that's why I think all these exhibition fighters, they can explain it right here in the UK, the conversation, we still believe that Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury fight would be a massive blockbuster, probably create a British record. We want to see Anthony Joshua going to fight Jake Paul. The fans want to see a proper real fight. Fight to go again, get your revenge, get into record into probably having a shot at the title again. These are just signs looking like Kenny. Maybe I'm tired and just start winding up. There's nothing in it for people to say when boxing, and that's why it really worries me.
Yeah, it does. Like a farewell talk. And, only before just let this go. This Jake Paul phenomenon, YouTube star, a lot of money. A lot of people are saying, and I also have evidence, probably to return the pride of boxing. Maybe they should infuse more money because it's clear to you and I that the only thing that made Anthony Joshua consider in the first place is the money involved. Because it's just like you also said, it's improbable to even imagine that Jake Paul would be in a ring with Anthony Joshua in less than 3 rounds. It should be flat on the floor. Well, yes, like I said, this is all about money. When you look at money, it's a lot of money. But why can't boxing authorities, all those guys, bring this guy? How is a YouTube star able to fool this? Now that's the question. That's what makes it special. The fans can also fight because they'll tell you whatever they're going to give you, I'll give you more. Yeah. So I agree with you. Maybe they need to get him on board so he can show them the right tricks. How he's able to pull things like this. You don't have a YouTuber going against a professional pro. Someone has proved the world twice. He's fought some of the best hands you can find as conversation. But again, it's what it is. Is how sport, how it has evolved into it is a money making, spinning industry. And when people like this can come up very very well packaged events like this, it's going to shoot out.
Why I'm so proud of this? Why I do not even want them to start thinking about this sort of conversation. It will water down the sports because all of the rules that they bring into the ball, YouTube exhibition fight to come and still look like an entire joke. Muhammad Ali will be shaking his head. Back in the day when we talk about boxing and the top guy come out there, that anything can happen. It's still putting in history what Buster did to Mike Tyson. Still unbelievable. Like what Andrew Reid did to Anthony Joshua. For instance, Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, they are going to fight just 8 rounds, 3 minutes. They say center. And they have said that Anthony Joshua isn't allowed to weigh more than 100 kg. So you see, when you start bringing all of these things into it, then it becomes a proper joke like this. We just want you guys just to sit on YouTube and watch this if you want to, and just know that this is not what you should become in a serious content. It should destroy the sport, So I don't know what's it really to see that. What is it back in the day? Samuel Kombita in the 90s to go to fight just pocket 10 million. Like when I paid that money, there was money back in the day. So there's still money. But what we just will carry with this new internet trend, this online trend, this virtual photography, it's generating money. But starting organizing of taxes just need to sit down and think about it and say, okay, not already. Just can't imagine everything that happens and Alexander Usyk decides to get into the ring with Jake Paul. And maybe he's having stomach pain or this guy knocks him out.
Boxing is destroyed. Even with this one, boxing has lost space. Now, but let's move on. We spent 16 minutes on answering the judges, so we have to move on. Let me also do the honors, riding, what else, cycling, getting us shocking. And those are the kind of things we want to see getting into the spotlight, the commercial, British carnival, culture we like to see. Sports is not just leisure, it's health. I mean, let's not even talk about financial benefits, consciousness, takes people off the street. It's just enormous.
It's massive, yeah. It's fantastic. I love that. We're beginning to see ways that we can showcase Nigeria with sports, tourism, more than just football. You know, like there are apps that you can place on your TV screen and to tell you where this place is right there in your home shop. It will tell you, just put it on your TV screen. It's just tell you, oh, this side is there. You go on show, and go back to saying, and then come back. And that is fantastic for Nigeria. That's the very government. That's why we're telling the government in Nigeria, we're telling sports administrators in Nigeria, we can't mess around with this. Over 400 cyclists, over 400 benefits involved. What about the spirit of sportsmanship to promote? What about what you do to this community? You know, having this sort of messages come around, do to them as a people. What about the dreams that to challenge messages that say, oh, one of these days I actually put on a job on the back and compete at the tracks and international cycling event, even though we're Olympics. It's massive. So shout out to everyone that put together the cycling event. It's in Oyo State. I want to see more across the country. And when we start doing things like this, we open up that space, that market that we've been saying is so difficult to do in Nigeria. Can destroy this 100% attention of football and FIFA money, which that going to the World Cup. And look at other sports and see actually use it to develop our country.
Yeah, there's a lot happening in other sports. We don't only have talent. I know Nigeria is a football-centric nation, but it's not a Nigerian thing because for every continent, for every nation, they have a sport that they have identified. I think ours is football, but when you look at the population of Nigeria, about 212 million persons, everybody is not going to play football. And this, you see this also happening with tennis. You see this happening in other sports. And I think it's something we should encourage. Like you mentioned, there's health benefits, there are financial rewards, and beyond all of that, younger athletes will look at this and say, oh, there is a growing interest in this sport. How about I pick up my own interest in this, develop myself? And who knows, I probably will get to the next time. So I think it's a welcome initiative. Yeah. All right, we need to go on the other side of the break. We'll take some reactions from, of course, the cycling event, the Romocha Carnival. Of course, we'll come back to talk football, national football, and of course, about Super Eagles. All for you when we return from the school. Gotta level up your game. That's my
confidence.
Claire, putting cycling on the map for Nigeria, encouraging, empowering youth, and likewise creating awareness about cycling and promoting cycling at its best and giving the younger ones and tourists an environment to excel. Because putting cycling forward, other countries have been enjoying it, and bringing Grand Fondo to Montreal and Seine gives it a template and a way forward to start seeing cycling as a sport to look at it as an active cyclist, tourist attraction.
So the benefit why he initiated this particular program is for everyone to know the benefits of cycling as a sport, because I know most people they are like apparently they'll be like what are these people doing, what's all this one disturbing us on the road. But there are a lot of health benefits of cycling because number one, it reduces your weight and it helps your BP. It has a lot of health benefits that it has. So we are doing this just to create awareness, and for Ogbomosho itself to have a new what would I say, a new way for the future of the land itself.
All right, welcome back. We're not that. Let's talk about grassroots football now. Season 7 of the collision football tournament. You can see pictures on the screen. Really, we had over 40 on the 15 and on the 13 teams, as you can see on the screen. 4 female teams competing in this year's final of the Lagos State Grassroots Football Initiative. O&A Sports beats Primus 1-0 to win the other 13 boys event, while Right to Smile edged Adult Football Academy 2-1 to emerge champions in the under 15 category. Wasback Coolies beat Unification 1-0 to win the girls' final in the 2-day tournament. Libats clinched the MVP for the girls, while Adebayo Drury of Right to Smile Football Academy won the MVP for the under 15 category, while Emmanuel Adesoya was named the MVP of the 15 category. Interesting times. Let's take some reactions from this. Of course, Olude is here to share his thoughts. You can see the joy, the excitement of the young ones, and you need to put them in these situations that are very rich, make them competitive, let them show their passion, and of course the results will always bring us to. Let's take some reaction.
The initiative was established to encourage young children to go forward. Okay, so this semester started with just about 7 6. and 06. So we have 30 things. So we have 10 under 13 things, and we have 10. So we try to make sure you know what their child and their child. So this case that makes access, all things access, all things excited. Big part of the get a lot of people, which are Nigeria.
Question about we always say the youth, the star, and the future. And we are excited to be hosting this every single year. This year we have about 1,400 children that are here playing the game to compete to win. Grassroots should be paid attention to. There's not a lot of attention to it, and most of the superstars that we made today, they actually come from grassroots football. And so we are redefining grassroots football tournament in Nigeria because if we don't do it, then who will? And we're looking for more people to be a part of this. Friends, family, and some corporate partners who have been a part of this, but it's not enough. We actually do need a lot of people on board because we always say that we need to make our community better. And it's just a little way we can to ensure that every child is able to go to school and play football.
All right, so that's it. Opportunity for children to play a game of football, go to school, get a chance, get a platform to do what they want to do. There are other sorts of this exciting kids. You hear one of the organizers talking about having 1,400 children, having to manage all of that since themselves. It looked a bit like they were singing praises, but sometimes they are putting on trumpet when you're doing the right. Well, they're doing the right thing. Very good for them. They're able to allow some of this potential explore their talents. But the question I always ask when I see initiatives like this is when you look at the structure of our food, it doesn't discover. Because again, so where do you go from here? Well, it's a big question. Where do you go from here? Because the system does not accommodate. But listen, well, yeah, this is good. I like the fact that the children, like I said, were able to go out there and explore what they get the glimpse of what it can be. Yeah, the exposure, yes, feeling of what, and who knows, maybe you probably have I don't know. People would have found one. Also, I know you want to probably have your 2 cents. So believe it there because if you go in that direction, that's a problem. Why are they celebrating things like this? Then the question is, what next after this? Because you don't see what's next.
Yeah, shout out to the guys at Coalition Football. This is 7th edition. We'll be talking about this a lot on the show. I just first want to comment there. It's very challenging to, do football at the grassroots. That's what I'm trying to do that, we're not encouraging that for you. What's next? I think the thing summed it up so well. She said the youth, the star, and the future. The youth, the star, and the future. So we have this kids, which is, that right before age. Make them stars and then see them future. I'm a big fan of sport for development. I talked about it on the show last night, and I'm glad I could talk about it. And this competition right here is exposing the power of sport as a tool for social cohesion. The big thing that it does, it supports, uniting diverse communities in the north of the channels international to talk with British or Plateau, British or Cross River, Akwa Ibom, the southwest, the 6 geopolitical zones represented and the football for the love of the game and help them to expose their passion, their talent, and the good thing it does that it breaks down barriers. So the guy from Borno State is waiting the guy from Akwa Ibom State sort of formats also, just so we can build a total man, a total woman, start with a job, give them Nigeria a better place.
So let's move on. Start to address the elephant in the room. Talking about the Nations Cup officially just 2 days ago, as you can see right here. And at this point, we always like to ask anybody we have with us in the studio, if it is. Okay. All right. So thanks for seeing us on the other side. It's 2 days to go to Africa's biggest football showcase, and that's the Nations Cup. And at that time, when we ask people if they are feeling the vibes with 2 days to go, look, a quick response from you. 2 days to go, does it look like Africa's biggest showcase is about to begin?
Yes. I'd say yes. So I've seen their attires for different African countries, and that's the beauty of Africa. The culture, the colors, the
Particularly
yeah, I mean, very, very colorful. It's colorful, and I think that it set the emotion for the games to start.
right. Okay, so let's talk about the Super Eagles. That's something that we're trying to avoid most of the time. But hey, we have a job to do. The Super Eagles, of course, held three at in Indianapolis where they're going to be playing their games. Everything all looks calm. They're preparing for their first game. And so, of course, with the exit of William Trust Ekong, officially Wilfred Ndidi is now the captain of the Super Eagles. He's been talking about how he feels being officially the captain of the Super Eagles. Let's listen to Wilfred Ndidi speaking on that. Of course, we'll come back to talk about
Conversation, yes, some of the players, just try to understand the reason why also need the support also the staff, we're all in this together. So we just have this conversation of that time, so I mean, it's very important to be on the same page. Everybody speaks a lot for the team, the staff for the team, and just everything for the team, and I think it's one person that everyone in the team look up to, like actually starts with the team, speaks for the team, like encourage everyone, also spoke weeks ago. So what's in on so still part of the team, is good. What's up? Missing out on the World Cup, and this is another opportunity. Another opportunity. Another opportunity to correct wrongs and also have the places of Nigeria.
We've already did that, but just for laughs, for context, the Super Eagles captain appears to have moved on. We're not qualified for the World Cup. Maybe the authorities should do that as well. All right, just for laughs. All right, so this is on the screen. 2025 fixture on Sunday. Morocco hosts will take on Comoros. Then on Monday, fixture in Group A, Mali. I like their attire, by the way. I like their entry. I thought Nigeria was going to top that, but we didn't. I have to be honest. And the Malians, what they did, their outfit, the way they came down, takes the cake for me. And I'm gonna have to keep that video. I just love the way bright colors, you know, pleasing. Good to see. All right. Of course, a fun time because it's a bad way. All right. Only trying to Austin, for me, there's a sort of hangover somehow. I'm not angry that we qualify for the World Cup, but it is a bitter taste somehow. And that is personal, actually. That affects, I'm not, the outcome for me is not legally what it is, it's really nothing. But some people, they say, winning it will be a redemption. It cannot be redemption. Because even if we do, we have not solved the problems. And those problems are going to come and bite us again. So for you, do you agree with those who feel, well, if you win after this redemption for soft life? I think it's soft life. I think it's the only thing they can do to get it back. You know, kind of spot them. Where I can say, hey, let me pause because I'm not going to pause immediately because I've already said that. So it says soft landing for the authorities of the players. For the players. What about so again? You can leave. Like you said the other time when I was talking about grassroots, if we get into that space, so let's just leave them. But for the players, because I don't think Nigerians are looking at people authority. I, for one, during the World Cup qualifiers, they didn't get the ticket. And I said to myself that I don't care about people authority because the biggest beneficiary of playing at global stage are not the people there. We talk about it now, but I don't mention people authority. I talk about players. Yes, so I know that for them, they just must go there. That's the only thing. That's the only redemption. I'll say, I don't think it's redemption. But that's the play. That's the song out there. With this, you're forgiven. With this, everything is fine. Do you see that?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I'm in Nigeria. That's what we always do, because we're very big on winning. And the fans, when I joined this campaign, it's for the fans, because they're particularly fans like you, me, those who plays football in Nigeria in the 80s, in the 90s, and early 2000s. Even when the Super Eagles don't win, yesterday I talked about my favorite AFCON moment, and it wasn't one that we won. That family wanted to put it win, but if you check the way we lost that final, it is acceptable. These days we lose football matches, and if you watch in front of your TV set, you cannot get up. You just sit down there wondering, what did I just watch? You know, like so wasted time. So this redemption song that people are talking about, it's just to see the Super Eagles lift the trophy again. Just like what we saw in 2013, they started so slow. At some point, people started to bless his soul, criticize his team, and then they picked up, and then we won. And then we won for God. The problem is, I totally agree with you that it doesn't solve the problem. But now this way, I don't like it. It's becoming like it to your ass now. The fans are still there despite everything happening. They have to show that it's winning trophy. Okay. I guess we have to move on. But I do agree with you. A lot of us that grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, watched football. I mean, I have memories of Nigeria trailing the game 4-0, asking me how many minutes to go. I said, okay. That was the level of belief that we had that 4 goes down. 4 goes down. Somebody was asking me how many minutes left? 15. Okay. Just look at that, the mindset mentality that they have a culture they have built. That is what we grew up knowing that, 15 minutes to go against the top of the other side. So but that's what. Quickly talk about how much you can take. It's time to leave the Nations Cup, but let's quickly move on and talk about football on the domestic scene.
So let's quickly take a look at the Nigeria Premier Football League. That's going to be our next port of call. There you have it. African Warriors taking on the Eva. Let's take a look at United. We're talking about match day 18 now. A match to play on Sunday. Having the Warriors up against Warriors, Rangers International taking on University Kwara United come by LC United. This matches will play on Sunday. Let's see some other matches we play as well. You have Remo Stars taking on Insurance. Shooting Stars taking on United. League Doris will take on Cook Khalifa. These are the matches to play in the Nigeria Premier Football League. On Monday, City United will take on Rivers United. The schedule game was played. Baram FC defeated Rivers for Rivers United have won probably open up a big gap, and it would put them in a kind of position where others use it. Which one of those fixtures?
There are two of them. Ikorodu City against against, I think it's a game that I'm really, because for Ikorodu City now, in their last two games, they dropped 4 points. They drew away and drew at home against Katsina United. Now they are going away again. Yes, one of the best teams on the road. They picked 8 points on the road, 5 draws, a victory, and 2 losses. So that's a strong team. Consolidate this time, maybe still get a draw, so they will still be in and around the continental spaces, because what they have done this season is remarkable. Nobody expected the Ikorodu City second season to be doing what they are doing. They are up there, top 2, top 3. They've been that for weeks. Now, the second game will be the Insurance Remo Stars game. Now, seems to have found some reading is an insurance that is flirting with education. But insurance are giving 5 games. Oh my God. Really am interested in that. All right.
So let's see Austin State as we first wrap this up.
Yeah, some good results in the I'm not a big fan of all this rescheduled games. I don't know. I just feel when it was just going to play, yeah, maybe if you're playing continental, I can pass it, but aside that, it's just stuff like I could explain about FC4, Rivers United one. Actually explain that sort of result. No disrespect to Bar, but I just feel those kind of things just really gets me thinking. By the way, that's a big win for them. But let's just see if we can actually get everything back and really get talking about it the right way. I'm looking at match day 18 fixtures. I'm seeing some interesting fixtures right there actually playing on Sunday. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. Just leaving that to share results, come to a place where
All right. Usually a party shot on the show. Let's quickly give at the fixtures as we prepare to go. Usually everything happening in our Austin's backyard on Sunday. Aston Villa will take on Manchester United. But let's have a Saturday. Newcastle United will take on Chelsea. Bournemouth will take on Burnley. Brighton against Sunderland. Manchester City will take on West Ham. All of these matches. Wanderers will take on Brentford. Tottenham takes on Liverpool. Everton will be up against the Gunners. Arsenal. Leeds United take on Crystal Palace. All of these matches on Saturday and on Sunday. Aston Villa will take on struggling Manchester. All right. Also, as we go, how close to a sack?
every time we talk about Ruben, it's always so close. Somehow somebody in Manchester United bought into the proposing marriage to that manager, because it has to be only a long relationship that she's keeping that. And he's so adamant, so rigid with his formation, with staying what he was not wrong with staying what he did before, but he's not walking, share it, But I don't know. I mean, we'll wait to see. The same people said Ole, to the board, but we're looking at you expect that he will still be the manager, but he's still here. So quick brought it up, but match after match, I said, okay, this is the last guy. It's going and then it's coming out again. So it's something.
Yeah. We're going to pause for 2 seconds to back up next time. All right, I'm going to throw this at you quick fire, 5 seconds, give me your answer. Thomas Frank, not only not the chairman anymore, but he's still somewhere around. Thomas Frank, how safe?
I think he's safe. I think he's safe. They should keep it. I like what he's doing. It will take time. I think they should fix their board issue, take his leadership. I like Thomas Frank. I like this team. But look, he's got to be long term. He should use the mentality that they have lost the focus. I think that they can go back to the end of their problems. But Austin, Thomas Frank, that's the show in London. Austin will be there, but he took his sports back.
That's what I'm doing in Lagos as well. After the week and was the festive season all in the air. So the season will first look back all the legends are on the show. Yeah, thanks for having me. All right, I'll do 2 seconds for the time. All right, that's the show today. Enjoy the rest of the day. See you again next week. I'm going to be at the virus. Bye-bye.
Our website, channelstv.com, has more information on our top stories and topics. Subscribe and watch Channels Television's live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms using the technology right browser. Or download the Channels TV app for Android from their respective stores. You can also watch us via your smart TV platforms on Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, and Roku. Channels Television. Ubiquitous. What started as a dream for professional full-time show on TV has come to reality in Lagos, Southwest Nigeria. Launching Kickstarter is given to world Tuesday, September 2nd, its different content in an 8-ball tournament with the longest hours ever. This seems to set a new beautiful record and receive nominations for the supporters and fans of the Snoopy game.
Sarah, electrified. That's the word I used to describe this. It's been electrified, from inception. You can hear it from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't get around 6 days of non-stop play. This is unbelievable. This is unimaginable to reality. It's 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes, and it continues to do it. I'm proud of Shane. I'm proud of everybody that's come out here to give us the support and the good support. That is something that everybody, all the youths, can look up to. If they can be children and do it, that's the message that we bring. They don't have to be a doctor, we don't have to be a lawyer, we don't have to be an engineer. We can be a professional football player that puts Nigeria on demand.
Just like my experience is level of endurance because that only takes a whole lot. Doing this kind of thing, lots of people scam, catch an with it, not affecting the marriage. So that's why we're here with him, supporting all the way. So make sure he doesn't get addicted. Do the same plates, we encourage this thing into mass. You also have to massaging, stretching legs, applying the heat for him. So all together. So we're not saying for it, make sure it goes.
The president of Shell shutters the previous record of 100 hours when he was almost 100
Show family, it's about production and showcasing the spirits, the mindset of the production that we are yet to do it and done anywhere, done in Lagos, and the proud spirit of Lagos, the production is to achieve this, and it's something worthy of recognition, worthy of support, and that's why I strive and ensure that, yeah, family
says that Nigeria can commit global attention through entertainment and recreation. In the critical heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. From the homes of imagination has turned manifestos into reality. Transformations that feels like a miracle. But progress needs peace, and healing is not left to chance. From land to sky to lucky, markets are watching, protecting dreams and opportunity. At Olashi's quiet show, Andrew Park is rising, set to energize the growth. The change is visible. New rules emerge, industry norms, communities come alive. At the center, a digital resilient young minds trained each year to build the future. As Olashi rises, so does he and the hopes of a hardworking people. The new Igbo is on the rise. Answer between trust, safety, and speed.
yeah, I mean, the original product is not so just is the same result. The original intersection of tech, mobility, and job creation. So coming back to Nigeria to as a show, so she was our office was one of the offices that we have. From 20 lakhs to hundreds of thousands of customers. Lakhs of is one. Through of success.
All day freshness, 7 days a week. From Genius Cosmetics.
Table calendar. You can now customize your table and wall calendars. It's hot crispy. 20 copies of your 25-page table calendar for just 85,000 only. 20 copies of a 7-page aging calendar, also 85,000 only. 20 copies of an ancient wall calendar for only 120,000 naira. Every piece comes out to be awesome, vibrant, and picture perfect. Pictures, other desired content, in PDF format. What's enough? Design and send that for your approval. Finally, your calendar survives anywhere in Nigeria in 96 hours. Terms and conditions apply. For more details, or follow our social media page for job.
this Christmas, let us adore him together in songs of glory and celebration. It's the Aquarium Christmas 21 with the theme Divine Visitation from Big 1 verse 68. Join over 30 classical and contemporary choirs and music ensembles as they lift one voice in worship, harmony, and the true spirit of the season. It's going to be a holy night of music, worship, unity, and service of 9 lessons delivered by eminent citizens. Date, December 19th, 2025. Venue, the Amphitheater, Dogma Avenue, New Aquarium State. Time, 6 p.m. Experience Christmas, feel powerful and unforgettable. This message is brought to you from the Private Ministry of Information.
My name is Austin Asuku Kocha, watching up on JJ. That's because I'm so stubborn. They never twice during my days as a professional footballer. I played as an attacking midfielder. No one could stop me. Taking my name when I skate lights. Now you too can be unstoppable. If you use Lunas against
Lunas, a combination of artificial and foundry. Lunas, the unstoppable.
when we think of Christmas. Remember the world, the memories made.
Now, imagine experiencing all of that in a home that is truly yours. Your first Christmas tree, your first family dinner, your own space, filled with love and light. Write your own story this season. And 11 Friday just from 30% discount off flat sales. Enjoy easy, beautiful Christmas gifts because this Christmas, this story isn't ours, it's yours. And some gifts never go away, just like the joy of a home.
The City's Christmas sales is here again, starting from 15th to the 31st of December 2025. Enjoy exciting discount on televisions, refrigerators, mobile phones, solar and power solutions. More details, call 9010376670 or 7000307467 or visit www.simsng.com. Terms and conditions. Digital Center. Recognition of quality. From the Bronx, the Marvel character. It's live.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, President Bola Tinubu submitted 58.18 trillion naira to the 2025 National Assembly unveils new security policy labeling all non-state actors of government nationwide. Foreign Minister Yusuf Tugara confirms Nigerian soldiers free in Burkina Faso that is safely at the Air Force Base in Afghanistan. President Tinubu warned state governments he might issue an executive order to ensure direct local government allocations, stressing compliance with the Supreme Court ruling upholding financial autonomy for Nigeria's third tier. And President Vladimir Putin declares Russia seeks no further wars post-Ukraine, pretends respectfully, rejects allegations of planned attacks on European nations and rising international tensions.
On business news, federal government issues the first 590 billion naira bond under the Presidential Power Sector Initiative to settle debt owed to electricity generation companies.
On sports news tonight, Newsboro's captain Wilfred says 225 happened was an opportunity to make amends after missing out on the 26 World Cup.
We begin tonight with the budget presentation made today by President Bola Tinubu, who presented a 58.18 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill to a joint sitting of the National Assembly, announcing a major security policy that classifies all armed non-state actors operating outside government authority as terrorists. The President said the 2026 budget themed budget of consolidation, renewed resilience, and shared prosperity represents a crucial stage in his administration's reform drive, aimed at consolidating economic gains while strengthening Nigeria's security framework. Our National Assembly correspondent Gloria Mason reports.
President Bola Tinubu, represented by the Vice President Kachim Shettima, began the day with an emergency Federal Executive Council meeting, and at the core of that meeting is the 2026 appropriation bill reviewed upwards from 54.5 trillion naira to 58.1 trillion. President Bola Tinubu at exactly 3 p.m. proceeded to the National Assembly with the prepared budget, arriving at the Green Chamber to a joint sitting of the National Assembly. The Vice President, governors, cabinet members, among others, are also present.
The National Assembly is ready to move with you. We are working with you to strengthen the works that they are doing. The framework must change and ensure that every naira appropriated serves the people who earns only 1% is starting. As we direct the security agencies to withdraw policemen from critical areas, we believe we will present for a review of the decision.
President Tinubu marks the podium, certainly opens his speech by addressing the critical challenge of multiple budgets.
We are connecting the agreement of running through projects on improve. By March 31st, 2026, all African laboratories from previous years will be fully funded and closed. From April, Nigeria operates on a single budget, but a single revenue cycle. No overlaps, no excuses, no robots.
Key aggregates of the budget include expected total revenue pegged at 34.33 trillion, projected total expenditure at 58.18 trillion, 15.52 trillion for debt servicing, recurrent non-debt expenditure at 15.25 trillion, capital expenditure at 26.08 trillion, with a deficit of 23.85 trillion, representing 4.28% of the GDP.
Let me be clear. 2026 will be a year of stronger discipline and execution. I issue directives to the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, the Honorable Minister of Budget and Economic Plan, the Accountant General of the Federation, and the Director General of the Budget Office of the Federation to ensure that the 2026 budget is implemented strictly in line with
also announced that defense and security will take the largest share of priority spending, helping 5.41 trillion naira in the latest budget. And the key provisions in the budget include 3.56 trillion for infrastructure, 3.52 trillion for education, and 2.48 trillion allocated to the health sector. The president then presents the 58.1 trillion 2026 budget.
Received the 2026 African confidence that the lessons of 20 have been fully internalized. And that this object is designed to translate reform into tangible operation activities.
After the team was also pledged that beyond prioritizing food security in 2026, his administration will be guided by three major commitments, including improved revenue mobilization, smarter spending on priority projects, and stronger accountability aimed at rebuilding public trust. From the National Assembly, Gloria Umifike from Channel Television News.
Meanwhile, commendations and optimism have trailed the budget presentation at the National Assembly. Some lawmakers have commended the president for aiming to stop the continuous rollover of budgets, while others have expressed optimism that the 2026 budget will be fully funded despite concerns around the revenue shortfall. Our National Assembly correspondent Terry Cooney spoke to lawmakers again to witness the budget presentation by the president.
The 2026 budget consolidation establishing prosperity was presented to the day after they received the executive framework, which was speedily passed by both chambers. The president sets the foundation of the speech on the nation's fiscal plans for the coming year. And you'll see that lawmakers are satisfied with the documents, despite about full funding of the 2024 and 2025 budgets.
The author president who is in touch with the current reality, having acknowledged the shortcomings in the implementation of the 2024 and 2025 budget years.
I think that this budget of consolidation will be able to tackle matters that are so presented. Said, this will lead to what our communities. What Nigerians are expecting will be positive impact on these budgets on the lives of Nigerians. Basically, it's focusing on the fundamentals, the security, education, infrastructure, and of course, food security. So I think for me, we are saying very clearly that it's important for consolidation and important action shows it's important for consolidation. The president to start to that's one partner is a partner.
After the project to the end of 2025, we shall all be consolidated by March 2026, which means by April next year, they shall all be closed. Be closed in the sense that they shall all be implemented, should be commended.
showing that the most realistic method of the budget is to say that this 2026 budget is to harmonize every existing budget stock to implementing budgets of three budgets on a what said. This is going to be a table budget, which is what all like you have done as a
No, it's also appeal to the state that 2026 budget that was not some of the same revenue shortage problem as the two previous budgets.
The addition now is basically on the revenue aspect. And you know the tax law is starting January, and that jump for should be if not the this year is surpassed the revenue. I think maybe up to 2 trillion, and that was the total number that affects months. So and I believe in next year they will do that.
The most talked about issue that has happened so far has got to be security. It's going to be the president's budget proposals such as that he has chosen to prioritize security.
security, the back to security, and we have also all non-state actors who are terrorist organizations. So within the clear profile agenda for the work to achieve, we hope that the implementation will be properly achieved, just like we stated that the budget is going to very. Secondly, we know what we have been and it's supposed to be the cardinal point of every budget settled between fees, so you got it right.
Both chambers have promised to speed up the process of passage of the budget as they deal with the demonstration framework, highlighting the 10th Assembly's check with its new administration.
The People's Democratic Party has described the appropriation plan as a budget of consolidated offerings, arguing that the government has failed to address a mitigated hardship facing Nigerians. The statement signed by the PDP's National Publicity Secretary, Kamari Fini Emebo, expresses concern over the admission of President Tinubu that the execution of the 2024 capital budget has been extended to December 2025, while the 2025 budget is still in force. The party also says the operation of different budgets at the same time undermines fiscal discipline, transparency, and accountability. While acknowledging the allocation for security in the 2026 budget, the PDP said, quote, "We must remind the government that Nigerians that allocation alone is insufficient. We therefore demand effective and to ensure the security funding translates into tangible improvements, modern equipment, adequate ammunition, improved intelligence capabilities, and better welfare of security personnel who are currently engaged in different theaters of armed conflict, where criminal non-state actors are alleged to possess superior arms compared to our security forces." End of quote. The increased transparency and accountability in the administration of finances of the country, as these are critical to building public trust and effective public administration. In part two, after the break, Foreign Minister Yusuf Jagar confirms Nigerian soldiers freed in Burkina Faso have landed safely at an Air Force base in Accra, Ghana today. Please join us.
My Baba will always say, for markets, every day gets a own wahala. Sometimes people must say, don't be regular brand, must squeeze down, they sharp. Because it's open payment, your money to sharp, no story. But inside market, anything fit happen. One day, we no see anything. My Baba remember okay, you say that's the life I kept I want to know. Place I'm not account. From market to market, from small money to big money. Okay, treatment or speed cell is fully going to US as a digital apply just you say just now okay Someone said Washington, for girls and not I told them it's not even Harry. Wow, it's like magic.
Morning practice can have 20 at the bar. So look here, the dishes aren't just one person's job.
I like to ask for that any money to fix it before my dad got for me. Just use the best way. Look like school look, that's like the night for some. My dad was the resist to he sharply gets up ready to that. He fixes his laptop, flips the budget, and sends it to his car just in time. But so success.
Welcome back. If you're just joined us watching the news at Channel Channels Television broadcasting life from Lagos. Reminder of our minister. President, noted that in the April, including our children's budget initiative. Unveils new secret non-state actors outside government control as terrorists. Foreign Ministry to guard confirms Nigerian soldiers freed in Burkina Faso have landed safely at an Air Force base in Accra, Ghana today. President Tinubu warned state governors he must issue an executive order to direct local government allocations, stressing compliance with the Supreme Court ruling upholding the autonomy for Nigeria's third year. And President Vladimir Putin addressed Russia's no further war with North Ukraine. They treated respectfully, rejects ambitious standard terms of European nations and rising international tension. President Bola Tinubu has issued a strong warning to state governments, saying that in order to guarantee direct funding for local governments, if they fail to comply with the recent Supreme Court ruling affirming financial autonomy for the nation's third tier of government, President Tinubu made the remark at the 15th National Executive Committee meeting of the All Progressives Congress in Abuja, addressing party leaders, including Vice President Kashim Shettima, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, and House Speaker Ahmed Tajudeen. The President stressed that the Supreme Court judgments must be respected, adding that local governments cannot be denied the resources meant for them.
Your elections. You are the supervisors, the vigilators, you elected not only tell you the governors. So since you elected them, it means you know that they are responsible for their survival. But the Supreme Court has clapped it for you. So give them their money directly. So if you want for my executive order, because I have the life, the fall back, we do the arithmetic, we know the percentage. Send it to the others. Yes, very grateful and understanding with my governors. Otherwise, if you don't start to implement it, fact after fact, you will see everyone knows our Supreme Court to have to comply, but to respect the governments.
The federal government has signed a landmark memorandum of understanding with the United States of America to deepen healthcare delivery in Nigeria. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare Professor Mohammed Pate signed this deal in Abuja with the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Richard Mills. It marks a major milestone in the renewed health partnership between both countries. According to Professor Pate, the MOU provides a 5-year technical framework to guide U.S. grant support to Nigeria's health sector, while supporting the country's transition towards increased domestic financing and reduced dependence on external aid.
The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare is joined by the Minister of Finance and the coordinating Minister of the Economy, in company of the United States Ambassador to Nigeria, to seal an agreement that will strengthen bilateral cooperation and funding for healthcare delivery in Nigeria. Representatives of the key ministries as well as state governments and other key stakeholders are present to witness the landmark event. The MOU is focused on 7 areas of cooperation, including disease surveillance and outbreak response, laboratory systems, commodities, frontline healthcare workers, data systems, strategic investment, and technical assistance.
Because this moment in time, close on the memorandum of understanding to be signed between the Federal Government of Nigeria and the government of the United States of America to deepen our cooperation in health, strengthening security and resilience. And this is one milestone during that started several months ago. The signing of this memorandum of understanding between the United States and Nigeria is the latest step in what is our ongoing shared commitment to advancing the health and well-being of citizens within our respective countries.
Over a 5-year period from April 2026 to December 2030, the United States government will provide almost $2 billion in grant funding, with Nigeria will commit at least 6% of executed and state domestic budgets to health to mobilize nearly $3 billion for health within the same time frame.
Happy to be here, happy to invest. This is what I'm signing this memorandum. And what's focused from there is that so one thing has gone away, but it's been replaced by another initiative, another approach that is bringing us strongly.
The health minister and the US ambassador then put pen to paper to seal the deal. According to the minister, the counterpart funding is already included in the 2026 budget as the government aims to ultimately attain self-sufficiency in funding healthcare delivery in the country.
The federal government has confirmed that a C-130 military aircraft, which made a precautionary landing in Bobo Dioulasso in Burkina Faso, has now departed the country and arrived safely at the Air Force Base in Accra. The development follows the resolution of the diplomatic dispute between Nigeria and Burkina Faso into Burkina Faso's airspace. But Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Chigar, announced the aircraft's safe arrival on his X-handle, confirming that the pilots and crew were in good condition, noting that the outcome reflects Nigeria's commitment to diplomacy and regional cooperation, and granting President Bola Tinubu's leadership in resolving sensitive matters through dialogue. The separate statements from the Director of Public Relations and Information from the Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Ehime Jolame, explains that the aircraft stopover in Ghana aligns with its updated flight class. The C-130 is scheduled to continue to Portugal for depot testing, passing through Banjul and Casablanca. And that statement also confirms that the aircraft remains serviceable at all states, and the Air Force continues to operate to the highest ranks, professionalism, and safety. The aircraft unexpected landing in Burkina Faso and full widespread attention prompted diplomatic engagement on President Tinubu's directives to start their delegation to Mogadishu when he met with Burkina Faso's leader Captain Ibrahim Traoré before briefing Germany on the resolution. And as the world marks the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, the Hydrocarbon Emission Remediation Project HYPER said that it is stepping up efforts to economically empower persons living with disabilities across the 4 global government areas of River State. But that assurance was given forum during the 2025 International Day of Persons Living with Disabilities celebration organized by the Association of Persons Living with Disabilities, with renewed calls for deliberate inclusion and sustainable empowerment. Our correspondent Deborah Mia-Burusina reports.
Disabilities in Burundi. It's a 2025 International Day of Persons Living with Disability, using the platform to highlight the need for inclusion, dignity, and economic empowerment. The event is organized by the National Carbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPER, of the Burundi Association of Persons Living with Disabilities, is an opportunity for stakeholders to reaffirm their commitments to ensure persons with disabilities are not left behind in the voting process. The project coordinator, HYPER, represented by Lisa, said some persons living with disabilities, even after the globally recognized International Day on December 3rd.
So the project is an inclusive one because it ensures that student apart from general project activities, we also have stakeholder specific activities. So today we are marking International Day of People Living with Disabilities or people living with special needs.
It offers the economic independence of persons with physical challenges as they have livelihood and outlet to fit into the maps of 5 key common areas beginning next year.
It's big of inclusivity of every stakeholder in Ogoni land. We have not left the people living with disability behind. We are planning to train them in 5 skill areas that they selected during a assessment in November 2024: wrapping, fish farming, computer science, fashion, and one other skill is 5 skill areas that will be training them 60 persons for these skill areas. And I've just spoken with them to ensure that they select people that are going to make good use of the skills that we're going to be providing for them.
For the Women Association of Persons Living, the celebration goes beyond symbolism and the association's president. Employment, scholarships, medical outreaches, and institutional support to sustain disability inclusion in Ogoni land.
Because we not say this in the history of Ogoni that our primary celebrating with us. We are very happy because we believe that the Lord has built a project coordinator to answer most of our prayers. Because as we speak, he has said it already that by January, which means the person with disability is going to have some things to do. This is what we have been requesting and asking the society to see what they can do to impact persons living with disabilities.
Approach management is optimistic that sustained engagement and targeted empowerment initiatives will further strengthen institution and social programs across the 4 local government areas. For channel television news.
The spearhead of the needs and heads, federal government issued a $590 billion bond under the Presidential Power Sector Initiative to settle debts owed to electricity generation companies. That's the business scheme.
Season's greetings from FCME Group.
Calm down. What's hearing everything? I tell me it's going. Just have the people that are okay. No matter. With moving that rush.
Simple corrections, meals into correction, and moments into moments.
This is the true taste of God.
Taste home, taste correction.
Nothing. Newborns arrival into a family. Modern necessities. Even original aromatic snacks. That child of yesterday has grown into that man. Important landmarks in our lives are celebrated. On hand to cultivate such a memorable day
applications is able to with success flows. With success comes status, and with status comes recognition. Able is there with you all through all the rooms of my soul. Original aromatic schnapps, authentic traditional flavor. That's right. I can't just stop telling you for you kill any AT. The AI features, that's next step.
Make the picture more vibrant. Where's what's Clara? LG. Hi, LG. Show me some Italian recipe.
You can get the latest of everything for the next 5 years without getting it. Dad, I was just telling everyone about your team. Keep moving forward with confidence. Keep that right here. Listen to with services alcohol to prevent irritation. Stay dry and fresh all day long. So moving forward, Nivea is for skin. Your favorite Nivea dry here now in smaller pack size.
Welcome back into watching the news at 10 on Channel Television. With a continued vision to strengthen Lagos State's mobility, technology, enabled transportation ecosystem, LagRide and the United Bank for Africa have sealed a major partnership, a $100 million financing facility to expand Drive to Home scheme. The chairman of LagRide, Diane Chen, describes this landmark investment as a major step in empowering 3,500 drivers with long-term asset ownership opportunities.
Some applause with the air and staff of BlackRock, the United Bank for Africa, to the BlackRock Center in Lagos. A big benefit contract signing ceremony, some $150 structure and United Bank for Africa. Officials of both institutions were kept to Jamaica.
Within 4 years, right? GSDC agreed to give you the answer. We want the whole levels to share this, how they are living in the comfortable city when they every day have the network to renew the destination for everything wants to go.
And not only talking together, we move make sure that all the people partnership. The initiative aims to expand its joint-to-earn scheme from 3,500 drivers with ownership opportunities.
Then you're not just driving car, you can be the investor. Because it's not that you want to say, if you're managing 10 people, if you're managing 50 people, and you has your capability, if you're managing 100 people, then your SME. It's the power of the bank to give capabilities that they have today. We should appreciate the work.
This is a proven that physically very effective application of the future. As we move forward, our responsibility we must prepare
here and regarding mobility in Lagos. Together, we are not just moving people, we are moving the city of Lagos.
To facilitate vehicles.
Weber Bank has held the grand finale of the 2026 edition of Hackaholics, which took place at the bank headquarters right here in Lagos, titled Hackaholics 6.0. That event was attended by the Financial Institutions Management finalists as well as past winners with a total cash prize of 120 million.
This is the grand finale of Weber Bank's Hackaholics 6.0 themed #Beyond Algorithm, where young innovators, tech enthusiasts, finalists, and supporters have gathered to witness the climax of this enormous journey. Statement: Weber Bank's Hussein, represented by the bank's Chief Information Officer, described Hackaholics as a powerful expression of Weber Bank's belief in the creativity and problem-solving strength of young Nigerians.
When we launched probably 6 years ago, we envisioned a movement. The growth we have witnessed since then has been startling, a testament to young millions. This year, we saw that spirit shining brighter than ever through a dual track approach for core technical innovators and startup founders with brilliant ideas.
Delivering his keynote, the executive director of retail at Weber Bank's mission goes beyond sparking ideas. It's about building long-term partnerships that drive real-world impact.
Hackaholics 6.0, 1.9.0, 25.0, 80.0, and so every year our biggest investment in Weber Bank is in people.
That then transitions into a final session where industry leaders unpack how startups can scale, grow sustainably, and harness opportunities for the future.
The great distinction is founders and everything. Making these standing and say,
There needs to be some sort of balance moments. Yeah, you know, like they think you have, they don't even know
emphasis that supports skill for now, nationwide.
After all the years, energy, and innovation, it was finally time to crown the winners across both hackathon and ideathon categories. Look for clinched the grand prize of 25 million naira.
CHAO, Joe! Congratulations to us.
I'm just glad I'm back on this opportunity. We're very thankful to be part of our journey, and it's just gratitude. And we're looking forward to reaching out to more good businesses through the advancement network and being able to reshape the food industry in Nigeria.
Since its debut in 2019, Hackaholics has grown into one of Nigeria's most exciting youth innovation platforms. Driving digital learning and Weber Bank's growth-focused philosophy to build a smarter future.
The next on the news at 10. President Putin declares Russia thinks no further war supports Ukraine, being treated respectfully, rejects allegations of planned attacks in European nations amid rising international tension, but that's on foreign seas.
Since actually this directed the speed of rebuilding becoming growth, which is rebuild aspirations to connect and to unite.
Aren't you even ashamed of risking the lives of innocent people? You are the
Hello?
Hey, oh. Oh, fine. Sorry, I made you cry. I was too emotional. Triggered your thing. I like when you pick up on the greatness that's going on. Can I take you out to lunch? I just want to talk. I haven't felt like talking in 7 years. Okay, okay. So I'll talk to you later. Bye. Good night. You know, just like a premonition, I had this feeling that something was happening. So I left my office and I went home. When I got into my bedroom, there she was, lying cold on the floor. Until today, I don't know how I got to the hospital, but it was already hectic.
I'm so sorry.
I spent 24 months in shock until I started getting better and responding to the pain.
So those can be so terrible things.
It is.
Before
Yes, yesterday was like,
and we won't hear of
finally
oh,
talking.
I understand. Like,
Well, I'm grateful for yesterday. It made me realize that I need to start living it. Thank you for coming to. So your story, it got me thinking. You're not angry. I mean, this guy took you from 25 to 40 and then just voted like that.
You know, everybody expects me to be angry, but I just can't be angry like that. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I know the part that I played.
No, don't do that to yourself. You loved and trusted this guy. You expected him to take decisions for both of you.
Yes, but I should have made decisions for myself too. I should have, but I was just much more concerned with making it work. You know, the other day you came to my office. You much what he said to me.
What did you say?
I don't know what you say.
What? This,
I mean, it's my fault. I should have left maybe at the 5th year or 7th year. I should have left. And then there were menopause. I was the one that wanted kids too. I should have made some type of effort, but didn't. So it's my fault.
you know you're a strong woman.
This chicken is strong.
You see the thing I like about you, you find a way to joke around them. But you're strong. You have to give yourself that credit.
I'm saying that normally.
Yeah. Generally, only you can be you.
showing emotion with friend just how would you be emotional about someone you just met? To be so unreal. She would suspect something. You only will. We need to put two of them in. Makes sense.
What's going on? You guys are there?
Yes.
Yeah. Since one time dinner with Dr. Mark, but still said what happened yesterday. So lonely. You need to make me feel. So how is one day supposed to feel with loneliness? Okay. If you ask me, that sounds like a lot. But I guess you can run by it today. If she's okay with it, then I guess.
Thank you.
Okay. Make sure you and Yetunde handle it again. I don't trust this.
Not my food. Shame on you.
Like,
I was surprised when Michael supervises that night. Still trying to make sure I don't cry.
Oh, it's in 20 minutes. 20 good minutes. They're cool now. The only way this is going to work is we should do it exactly as we planned. But Tana, you have to be here. Tana, I'm so sorry, babe. I'm so, so sorry. Are you sure everything you have everything? Are you sure I have everything?
It's life. I see. Well, regardless of, I like this place. I like this spot very much. Mike, how did you get this place? We, yeah, guys, can you give me a minute to take care of it? Sure. Hello.
Brother and sister, they're really putting this effort to make this happen.
Why? Well, you're okay with it.
It's so much going on. It's so much.
It's okay, man. I know you're going through loss. I went through loss. I'm still going through loss. So I understand. That's great. I know. It's okay. Drop you off. Okay? Yeah. So guys,
Let's go. I'm okay. Make me know, okay. I'm okay. I'm no longer interested in those things. It's just, I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm not interested.
I saw that.
I think she was having fun and smiling.
I thought she was starting to like him.
Maybe forgetting her. Come in.
Camila, hi.
Dr. Wale, hi. Please sit down.
Thank you.
I wasn't expecting to see you
No,
here.
Did I do something wrong?
No, why?
Because I called you yesterday and you didn't take any call.
Well, I wasn't really in the frame of mind to answer calls, and you didn't call us at the appropriate time.
But are you sure we're good? Are we okay? Because I can't understand the sudden change in attitude.
Dr. Wale, it's fine. Can you talk about this some time, please?
Are you asking me to leave your house?
No. I'm just saying that can we not do this right now? Let's talk about this.
Okay, fine. So I'll see you some other time.
Okay. You my broken. I'm sorry to really know what to do. I gave you my best years, and all you did was walk until you were crying. You took away the best part of me. You took away the best part of me.